Hello, this is Scholar Stack Students in Math. Today in geometry, we'll be looking at segment lengths in circles. So once again, let's draw a circle. I made it red this time. Let's say we have two chords. Let's call this A, B in the middle, B in the middle, C, D up top, A on the bottom. So we'll be looking at segment lengths. So if two chords intersect a circle, then the product of the two parts of one segment is equal to the product of two parts of the other chord. And they call this the chord-chord theorem because we have two chords. And what they're saying is that the length of AB times the length of BC is equal to the length of DB times BE. So you take a chord, cut it into its pieces, multiply them together. That's going to be equal to the other chord multiplied together. The other pieces of the other chord multiplied together. And then we're going to have another circle. This time we're going to have two secants. Secants intersect the circle twice. Alright, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, this one goes like this. So if we're looking at the upper secant, the upper line, AC, times its small piece, AB, is equal to, okay, now we're looking at the bottom line, AE, the whole line, times the small piece. Okay, and then let's look at one more, tangent, or secant tangent. So let's say we have a tangent here, and then a secant here. A, B, C, D. Okay, this one would be AB squared is equal to AC times CD. So the tangent times itself is equal to the two parts of the secant multiplied together. So let's look at a couple of examples. So find ML and JK. All right. Okay, we're going to break it into, so we have, this is chord, two chords. Okay, so we just break it up into pieces. So I'm going to say LN times NM. So that's this line here. Is equal to, I guess we'll use a different color, JN times NK. So let's put in what we know. Ln is x plus 3 times nm, which is x plus 1. Well, this is going to be a little rough. Jn is x plus 5, and nk is going to be just x. Alright, so the right side, we can just distribute the x, and we'll get x squared plus 5x. On the left side, we're going to have to FOIL. x squared plus x plus 3x plus 3. Okay, since there's x squared on both sides, or 1x squared on both sides, we can just get rid of those. Because we don't need to move them anywhere. If we try to, they just go away. So I have x plus 3x, which is 4x, plus 3 is equal to 5x. Now 3 is equal, if I subtract 4x from both sides, I'll get 3 equals x. Or x equals 3. Now that I know what x is, I can plug it back in to find ML. ML, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say, so x is 3, so Mn is 4, Ln is 6, so ML is 4 plus 6, which is 10. Okay, this one is 3, and that is 8. So JK is 8 plus 3, which is 11. Example 2, this is a secant. So if we have a secant, we're going to do whole piece. Which is PR times this piece. No, times this piece. QR is equal to RT times SR. So that's what our secant theorem told us to do. So PR is 4 plus 6, which is 10, times QR, which is 6, is equal to RT, which is 5 plus X. That's a 5 there. And SR, which is 5. So I'll get 60 equals, distribute, 25 plus 5x. So 35 equals 5x, so x equals 7. Okay, let's try out some of these. Okay, there we go. So first out, determine whether it's a chord or a secant or a tangent secant. This one is a chord. This one is a secant. Chord means we just take the pieces, so 5 and 12, multiply them together and set them equal to each other. X times 6. So 60 equals 6x, so x equals 10. Part B, whole piece, which is 8 plus 6 times the outer piece, 6, is equal to whole piece, x plus 7, times small piece, 7, or the outer piece. So this is 14 times 6 equals 7x plus 49. So we'll get 84 equals 7x plus 49. So we'll get 7x equals 35. So x equals 5. Alright, example 3. Use the diagram to find the length of SR. Alright. So this is a tangent secant theorem. Okay, here's our tangent, and then our secant is the long one that hits it twice, right? Tangent hits the circle once, secant hits the circle twice. And this is going to be equal to QR squared is equal to I believe it was, let's go check back our formulas here. AC times CD. So I just remembered, because it kind of confused me, the secant one, so just to make a quick change. This is equal to the big piece again, AD times the outer piece, AC. Okay, going back to our example. QR squared is equal to the whole secant, which is TR, times its outer piece, SR. Okay, so 16 squared is equal to TR, which is x plus 24, times x. So we're going to get 256 equals x squared plus 24x. Okay, the x squareds don't go away this time, so we're going to have to subtract 256 from both sides. And we'll get 0 equals x squared plus 24x minus 256. From here, we can either use the quadratic formula or we can factor. And let's see what we'll get if we factor this. So two numbers that multiply to 256 and add up to 24. Alright, let's see here. So, I don't think this is factorable. So we're going to have to use a quadratic formula. And if you don't remember the quadratic formula, or if your math teacher hasn't taught you a song to remember it, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. I'm not going to sing the song, sorry. So, in which case, so let's put this in, negative 24 plus or minus the square root of 24 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 256, all over 2 times 1. So let's see what this looks like. 24 squared minus 4 times negative 256. Okay. So we'll get negative 24 plus or minus the square root of 1600 all over 2. Square root of 1600 should be 40. So I'm going to get negative 24 plus or minus 40 divided by 2. Actually, this is going to come out nicely. So I just couldn't think of it in my head. So we'll get 8 and 32. Okay, so this actually did factor into x plus 8, wait. No, negative 32, right. There. There we go. No, that's not right. X minus 8, x plus 32. There we go. And that will give you x equals 8, x equals negative 32. And since we're dealing with actual length, that means x cannot be negative 32. So our answer is x equals 8. All right, that was a tough one. Let's try this again. Okay, find the length of JK. Okay, 15 squared. Oh, let's write it out. JM squared is equal to JL times JK. So 15 squared is equal to x plus 16 times x. So on the left, we'll get 225. On the right, we'll get x squared plus 16x. Okay, move them over to the other side, and we'll get 0 equals x squared plus 16x minus 225. This will factor into let us see. This would be plus 25 and minus 9. So x equals 9, or x equals negative 25. But we're dealing with lengths, so x has to be 9. And that is all I have for you today. Have a good one.